She's scary in that.
I know, right? It's a crazy lady. Hey, look who's coming into the studio there. What's up, Chris?
How are you? This is Louis.
Hi,
Louis
C.K. Nice to meet you. Hello. That's Rich Voss there.
And that's Gregorio.
One S.
Crack. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Spaceman.
Welcome.
Spaceman has arrived. What's going on, Chris?
How are you?
We're good. We're very good. We have so many questions for you about space.
Yes, like when the shuttle takes off, is it normally on time?
By definition, yes. Yeah, it needs to be on time. Otherwise, it goes to the wrong place.
What was the one?
Louis, we were talking about the moon landing.
Right.
And of course, I believe it happened. But can you take a photo of the flag where it is now?
You can take a photo of the footprints and where the rover drove around. You can still see the lunar lander sitting on the moon. And there's lots of photos out there. You can,
really?
Yeah.
That's it. Why haven't we seen them?
That's answered. Yeah.
I don't know why we've never seen those pictures.
Well, there's pictures of
and why
Bigfoot
can't you
and
see the
stuff to look
flag?
at, so, well, the flag's kind of hard because it's been exposed to ultraviolet light from the sun for 30 or 40 years, so it's probably faded to white. And also, when the little rocket ship took off with the two astronauts in it, they blew over the flag in some of the places just because of the exhaust out of the rocket. So, but the footprints are all there. That's,
why didn't
that's
they
the
put the
easiest
flag
thing to see.
somewhere else? You can't blow. You can't blow over the flag.
Well,
you know how hard it was to get it up there.
Bring one when you go back next time. It's all right.
What process do you think they went through? Like where Michael Collins got stuck in the thing going around the back of the moon. I mean,
He wasn't stuck. He loved it. He
You
had a
think
great
so?
time. Yeah. Oh yeah.
now
yeah.
he wasn't jealous. He was on the moon.
No, Mike's a great. Have you read his book?
I haven't.
Carrying the Fire. It's terrific. It tells the story of Apollo really well. And no, I mean, he'd only been an astronaut for a few years, and there he was alone on the other side of the moon. What an amazing human experience! What an adventure! Pretty cool spot.
Okay, so you would have done that.
Yeah, you got to be kind of greedy to go like, well, I don't get to land. I'm not going. All I got to do was orbit the moon before anybody else ever did it.
Yeah, there's not many.
Sucks.
Wow, what a jip!
There's
What a
not many
regret.
other options. Like we could work a different club, but it's one trip. You get one trip.
Yeah, there's been a few people went
That
twice.
didn't make any sense.
Went twice. To
Yes,
the
it did. It made a lot of sense.
No, it
Like
What are you
Yes.
trying to say?
What I'm
It
saying
needs
is,
to make this sense to somebody besides you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what makes sense.
He's tying in going to the moon
I
with working
apologize
at different comedy clubs.
this
He's-
man.
Basically,
All right.
what you do is
No,
kind of like what we
listen
do,
to me.
except you do it in
Listen.
space.
Okay.
We do it
I'm
in
ready. I'm
Harrisburg.
listening. All right.
you can't say no to their fucking gig because it's not like there's other gigs. Do you fucking get what I'm saying? You don't
Do you
get
have
it.
anybody like this in NASA that you look at and they just kind of wish they were dead when they spoke?
No.
No, look, they're mean people.
They don't
because-
let guys like Rich Voss
We're not-
anywhere near guys like him.
No.
This is his first time meeting anybody this stupid. He's
Stupid.
surrounded by the smartest people ever. He's
You
literally
understand-
never seen anybody this
Yes,
dumb.
I heard
in
you
his
let me
entire
tell you
life.
a
something.
rumor, didn't you?
Let me tell you
They
something.
do
Dummy.
exist.
First of all, I have a very high IQ, 141. Second of all, you cannot be fucking stupid to raise 3 kids and
Did you take an
apparently you
online
can.
IQ test? Did you
Yes,
take
he
an
did.
online
Yes,
IQ
he
Hey,
did.
test?
it doesn't
Yes, he
matter where
did.
it happened.
You
not
took
an
the
official
test
test.
wrong. That's why you got such a high score.
Fucking
Because you
141,
took-
baby. I'll take one here.
All right.
I'm just, you guys don't get it.
What do you?
No, you're right. You're right. His experience as an astronaut is very close to playing bananas in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah,
That close.
it is.
Yes, it's exactly the
I've
same.
never been to Poughkeepsie.
See, we figured that out. So can we ask him a couple more questions?
How many revolutions around the moon did Michael Collins make? That we were like approximately, like was it 50 or?
Yeah, I don't know the exact number. I haven't looked it up. I'm sure someone knows that number.
Well, your
but
first time, like the first
I've
time
been
the
around the
shuttle-
world 2,600 times.
2,600 times.
Yeah,
Wow.
on total of 3 different space flights. But I don't know. I could look it up, but I don't know.
How often?
Frequent flyer
More than I
miles.
have, for
I know
sure.
it's like comedy, really. I mean, you go around the world.
Yeah,
you
you
do
go
gigs.
around the world. You got to do a lot.
Around and
In
around.
one day, how often did you see the sun rise and
16,
set?
16 times a day. You go around the world every 92 minutes or 90 minutes.
So 8 sunrises and 8
No,
sunsets.
16 of each.
16 of each.
Yeah,
Do you
16
ever get-
sunrise, 16. And
in
once
one
every
day?
45 minutes, you get one of each. Yeah.
That's-
And they happen fast because you're driving it, right? It's like driving around a huge building into the sun. You come around the curve of the Earth. You force the sunrise by your speed. So it goes from the absolute blackness of space to this erupting sunrise around the whole world, big arc of the world. And then the sun it's like the hottest day you've ever been at the beach because there's nothing between you and the sun. There's no atmosphere. There's nothing.
But you can't like
to
look.
filter it.
Can you look at it? Is
No,
there?
but right next to it, it's black. The sky, there's nothing to diffuse the light. So you
crazy.
get pure searing heat from the sun. But if you look, just a little left, it's absolute
Total
blackness
black.
of space. It's very different.
Yeah, it's not
than what you're used to.
casting rays.
Yeah. There's no. It's not like going through the prism of the atmosphere. Oh
my
not getting
God.
filtered.
When you step out the first time, like when you step out, you're doing your first spacewalk. What is that like? I guess you're looking down at the planet.
Well, there's no down, right? So you're actually you're sort of looking up or across at the world. You in the movie Gravity, there's some
pretty
technical
accurate,
problems
right?
with gravity, but the sense of enormous three-dimensionality, the sense of being separate from the world, that is right, and you really feel that. The world more feels like it's above and beside you, like you're going around the sun together with the world, and it is. We're used to seeing the world like a globe, in the library that's sort of shiny and smooth. The world looks nothing like that. It is.
It's like a blob. Right?
No, it's text. No, the camera's
No,
doing
I know
a
what it's
crappy
like.
job.
Don't tell me what the world looks like from space. I know what it is.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
What is CK's complete knowledge?
Yeah,
Is that what that stands for?
That's right.
So the world is textures and colors. It's more like looking at a jungle under a super harsh light that's moving. So you see stuff different every single time. It's beautiful.
Does it
and
play with your
multi-
head when you're up there seeing the Earth from above like that?
How long have you been up there for? What's your longest?
I was up total about 6 months, half a year.
But what are your thoughts on Earth in general when you see it from that perspective?
At first, you just look for things you recognize. That's what every one of you'd do. You'd be up there and you'd come across some place you'd been and you go, hey, look, there's
My house.
There's Paris or whatever. Hey, I was in Paris once. Or you'd look, Morocco. Hey, I was in Marrakesh. Look at that. But the second time around, you're kind of like, well, okay, there's Morocco. But hey, wow, look at the Straits of Gibraltar or look whatever. And then the third time and the fourth time, by about the 100th time, you start to see the whole world. And that's the difference. You see the whole world, and you see it in 90 minutes, and it just starts. You just see it. It's just one place. And
okay, but if you're up
and
there
you really
for
get a
6
feel
months,
for that. Yeah.
6 months. Do you ever get to a point because everybody's job gets to be drudgery? Do you ever go, fuck this Earth? I'm just sick of this. Do you
Never.
ever get tired of it?
No.
Bored of it? Never.
Nah, I mean
6 months of just high stimulation, all joyful.
Well, you're busy as can be.
Right,
the station is big and complicated, and stuff breaks all the time. And
my
we run
God.
about 150 or 200 experiments, so you're keeping all those things running.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just drift to the window, you go across the U.S. in 9 minutes from L.A. to New York. So if you can see all of the U.S. in 9 minutes, every place. So you miss most of it. And the next time across, and then the seasons change. I was on board the spaceship to go halfway around the sun, from one side of the sun to the other. So I watched the seasons of the world swap from winter to summer. So you'd have to be an IQ of way less than 141 not to be stimulated by that, I think. It is fascinating.
That's way different than doing 2 weeks at Winnipeg. Rumors in Winnipeg.
What's wrong with Winnipeg?
What's that separation
I'll
thing?
hook you up.
Is there a separation thing they say that there's some kind of a condition an astronaut
there's-
what is it called though?
There's somebody wrote a book about that, but they didn't really talk to astronauts when they wrote the book.
okay.
It's people ask me, so did you get the overview effect? Like it's a thing. That's just it's someone's idea of what it might feel like to be an astronaut. It's not like a thing. It's just the idea that you're separate from the world. That you can't avoid. You are. You see all 7 billion people every day.
It wasn't spiritual at all?
It is reinforcingly spiritual.
Okay.
I didn't have like some epiphany or something up there.
Right.
But there's like no wishy-washy astronauts. You got to have something had to give you conviction, whatever you believe. And being there I think strengthens it, reinforces it.
Does it reinforce how stupid we are as humans that we're fighting with each other when you see Earth from that?
It actually made me more patient.
Really?
Because you see the enormity of the scale. And not just, the thing we miss is the scale of time. We are so frantically concerned about our particular 75 years. We just kind of miss the 4.5 billion that the Earth has been here. And we don't even know what we do lousy with big numbers. To me, 4.5 billion is about the same as 5 million, because they're both huge numbers. But there's 4.5 billion is a big difference. Yeah. And it's really hard to get your mind around how long the world has been here, how long it's supported life, and just what a little gnat of a thing on the end of it we are. And we blow ourselves way out of proportion. So in fact, it made me more patient, a little more tolerant. Yeah, we got big fractious things we argue about, but but the world's here to stay, and we're just
Yeah, do you
one
get
of the
like
things.
when I'm out like in a natureful place, like on a beach, and there's like a mist in the air, and I get this feeling like the planet's working. Like when I see something that I'm used to seeing, I'm like, it's okay, because everybody's scared now that we broke it. So when you're up there, do you think, yeah, it's working, or do you feel like we're making a dent and we're hurting it? Or?
Yeah, to say we broke it is wrong, of course. You know, just 15,000 years ago, the glaciers were here, right? Glaciers covered most of New York. The ice was miles thick over upstate New York.
15,000 years ago.
15,000
That's
years
not long ago at all.
That's not very long ago. You know,
We
it's
had
not
that kind
many-
of winter this year, though.
Yeah,
Am
I know.
right or
I know.
wrong,
I was in
Chris?
Toronto this winter. But so there are enormous changes go on all the time. We're making a mess of things, right? 7 billion of us exhaling and driving cars and turning the lights on. That has a big impact. Naturally, it has to. But it doesn't break the world. It just changes it. And it's not the world that's broken. It's the cliff that we've kind of driven ourselves up to. If you live on the edge of a cliff, you got to ask yourself, how did that cliff get there? And the cliff probably is because the land fell away, right? And so people build a house on the edge of a cliff, and then they never want the cliff to move anymore. And we've sort of built a society right now that is at the edge of the cliff of the technology that built it. And we're going to have to move. You know, we have to move where the weather supports life. If you're in a place where the sea level rises or the rain stops falling, and that's hugely impactful on humanity. But the world,
the Earth is
going to be fine. And it's
but humans are
self-healing.
going to have to change. It's
Absolutely.
clear, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's dead clear.
Because they don't want to. Nobody wants to believe that.
If you just stay in, you know, I spent the winter in Toronto. If you spent the winter in Toronto or New York, it's hard to convince yourself of anything longer than a 1-year cycle, or maybe even a 2-year cycle. But when you look on a 50 or 100 or 1,000-year cycle, you get a real sense of the patterns and the changes, and that's one of the things we can see from space is the long-term changes.
And one of the things you guys train for is you train for mistakes. Like you train for things to go wrong. It's like
Yeah,
most
that's
of
what the book's about.
And you talked about the which one was it that came through recently? That the Columbia.
Yeah.
That went through the atmosphere. And I
Came
know
apart.
you knew. What was his name? Rick Husband.
Rick Husband and I went to test pilot school together. Rick and I sang together. He was a singing waiter, and that's how he put his way through Texas Tech as a singing waiter. Great guy, and he was the commander of Columbia, and it had a hole in the wing, and we kind of just hoped we didn't do our job right, and they came back into the atmosphere. That hole in the wing acted like a funnel, like a blowtorch. The heat of reentry melted the left wing off, and the vehicle came apart and killed all the people on board. And
So you guys saw that while it was still out there, and did you
well,
determine that we can't fix it, or
we did not know. We knew that a piece of the tank, the foam, had come off and bounced off the wing, but there was no way to actually look at the wing. We didn't have a robot arm on that flight, so we couldn't reach around and look. You couldn't see it from the windows. We tried to look with telescopes from the ground, but it's black on black. We couldn't see. So
well, and at some point, you just had
the
to land
only
the
way
thing.
we could have done it was to do a spacewalk and go out and look underneath the big radiator and see. And we decided. When I say we, I mean NASA. We said, now we think we're okay, and we were wrong, and we killed the crew. We learned a lot from that.
if you had done that spacewalk and seen that, is there a way to repair that at that height?
Now there is. At the time, we didn't really have a way to repair it. We would have scrambled everything. We would have put those guys into as hibernation a mode as we could, you know, to minimum oxygen usage, try and get them to be able to stay up longer than a shuttle's ever stayed, and scramble
order
to
to-
try
in
and get
order to
another one
execute
launched.
the-
But then, of course, launching another shuttle, obviously, we don't have that system perfect.
doubling the
so,
risk.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
You
risk
couldn't have
is
got them
risk.
to the space station though.
No, they're in the wrong orbit for the space station. It's like a bicycle tire spinning one way and another one spinning another way. You can't get off one spinning tire and get on the other one.
Yeah.
They're in different orbits.
Oh.
And you
Whipping
can't.
around the Earth.
And there's so much energy. You know, the shuttle weighs 250,000 pounds, and it's going 5 miles a second. So you can't just turn.
Oh, see, I would have thought there was a way to adjust and get to. Okay,
No, that's the movie
perfect
Gravity. In Gravity, you
Yeah.
can, but
Yeah.
but in
Did
reality,
you like when
realize-
she did the fire extinguisher and shot over? I thought that was believable.
yeah, that was delightful. But actually, the movie pleased a lot of people. You know, it's not a documentary; it's a movie. You know, get over it. But it wasn't. It's not a place to understand orbital mechanics.
I'll never get over it.
Yes, that's all I think of. How her hair didn't go up in the air like it would have if she was floating. Did you notice that too? I'm sure you did.
Yeah, yeah.
What about life out there? You believe there's more than just us?
Yeah, people phrase it that way, right? Do you believe in aliens? like it's a belief system or something.
Right,
I'm,
right,
I'm
like
always
it's a
puzzled
faith.
that people ask that. Do you believe in aliens? It's like, do you believe
Because
in,
we don't have any proof. I
do you
guess,
believe
so
in
you gotta-
addition?
Yeah.
You know, no, I
Right.
don't believe in addition. 1 + 1 = 2.
Right.
We have never seen any evidence of aliens.
Right.
So, however, so then it's a matter of what are the odds? And we have recently started seeing planets around other stars, actually seeing planets around other stars using our best telescopes. So now we know roughly that every single star has a planet around it, on average, maybe more than one.
And there's
the
like 12 stars,
Stars
right?
are bright enough that we
Yeah.
can see them all. And our best guess is, I think the number is 7 septillion stars, which is like a billion, trillion, quadrillion, septillion. It's a bigger number than you could possibly visualize. So the odds are basically 7 septillion to 1 that we're not alone in the universe. But then again, the universe has been here 13.5 billion years. Entire species have probably risen and fallen billions of times.
Yep.
And we're one little speck in one little galaxy in amongst billions of galaxies. So
Do you think it's possible that there were people on Mars and that it cooked over like?
well, there's lots of pieces
that
of
the-
Mars on Earth because
Yeah.
when an asteroid crashed into Mars, it hit it so hard it knocked bits of Mars that then flew through space for a while and fell to Earth. And we've walked out on the ice in Antarctica where a little meteorite came down, bounced, rolled to a stop, and sat there on the ice waiting for us to go pick it up.
Wow.
And we've picked up pieces of Mars lying on the ice
No kidding.
in Antarctica. So
Do you think it's possible that people were on Mars and the planet was dying, so they all went onto the moon and used it as a spaceship to
No.
come here and it crashed into
no,
Earth?
I don't think that's possible.
all
So you
right.
think
But-
Sidonia is
checking.
just nonsense? All that face
that-
on Mars stuff is just a bunch of bunk. Forgive me.
Yeah,
pardon my
there's
French.
lots. Yeah, I mean, you can see faces in clouds. That doesn't mean that's
I do that
it
a
was
lot,
built by
actually.
ancient civilizations.
boyish
No.
of me.
There's a lot of that hopeful
Do you
thinking.
whistle while you're doing it?
Yes, I do, and I chew a piece of hay.
I like to think.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
I like to think like Louis that we kind of planet jump.
Well, eventually we'll figure it out. But I
mean-
think right now, you know, we just put a little satellite in orbit around the biggest asteroid in the solar system. We think that asteroid may have more fresh water on it than Earth.
Really?
An asteroid.
How big is this asteroid?
It's
Can we go
almost
get it?
moon-sized.
Can we
Nah,
go get it?
Getting it is a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
is
but,
it drinkable?
Well, it's buried underneath the surface, but and we're looking at Enceladus, and just this week, which is one of the moons of Saturn, we can watch the geysers of water coming off Enceladus feeding the rings of Saturn. We just saw that and proved that how that works this week. So it's a planet that has water and has heat and has had it, or a moon has had it for millions or billions of years. So maybe there's life on those moons too, and we don't know. And it's not intelligent life, but even if there's one little proto-microbial whatever, then we know. Then it answers your question. Then we know we're not alone in the universe. And it's just a matter of looking harder.
Has that ever been part of what I mean? Some people are driven towards space by that curiosity. Is
Yeah,
that-
that's what drives a lot of people is the
Yeah.
curiosity. To me,
what
it's
made you
just-
go up there?
Killed the cat.
Is it
it's
because
just-
you like to fly and you like to
No,
go?
no, it's just a natural extension of exploration.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean, have you spent your entire life in New York? I mean, sometimes you want to go somewhere else and see something else, and that idea of wanting to go explore is what has spread us over the whole surface of the world. And and we've only been to Antarctica for 100 years because our technology wouldn't let us get there till 100 years ago, and we only started going to space 50 years ago because we're limited by technology. To me, it's just innate to every one of us, and technology is the limiter.
Yeah, it feels like a necessary part of being a person, right?
You learn to walk.
Isn't it because we were supposed to get out of here?
Well, you learn to walk before you have any common sense because you
Yeah.
need exploration to understand. And it's just an extension of that. It's nothing magical.
How far back can I like? I know they're going to set up another. They want to set up another telescope that they're going to have
Yeah,
to try to
there's
see
several,
the
yeah.
beginning of time. How far back can Hubble actually see?
Actually, Hubble is what taught us the age of the universe. It's an old telescope now, right? It was designed in the 70s and
Yeah,
80s
old
and
hat.
launched in the early 90s, and we fixed it several times. But the big James Webb telescope that's going up in a couple of years, it'll be orders of magnitude. But Hubble you can measure how fast the universe is expanding, and sort of like the Doppler shift when a train goes by, you can hear it different. Light does the same thing for a galaxy that's expanding. It changes the color just like light changes or sound changes when a train goes by. That You get that out of light as well. It's called redshift. And so you can start to measure speeds of galaxies based on distance. And from that, you can start to see the further away they are, the older they are, their redshift is different.
Yeah,
you
a
can
lot
do the
of
math.
it is just math, right?
And from Hubble, we've shown how old the universe is, which is like 13.
But aren't they trying to see the beginning of like the bang? How close to seeing the bang or whatever it is?
Well,
are they?
you're looking at echoes, right? Because obviously the bang sort of happened everywhere 13.5 billion years ago. And from Antarctica, because of the it's sort of an undisturbed place to look at the universe, where we can see some of the earliest echoes of the first fractions of a second of the Big Bang with the background explorer. We're just starting to see see some of that, and we're just idiots. We're just figuring this stuff out.
Isn't that kind of what? Sometimes I think that's what the feeling is inside of people, like the sort of, there's always a desperate kind of scared feeling inside.
Yeah.
It's because we're still in the middle of an explosion. Like, isn't it just like there was this big boom and we're all flying. I mean, we're flying through space.
We're little bits of
at
flotsam.
Gazillion miles per hour,
We are.
and we're a little like it's scary, but we're in denial of it. But when you go, like right before you go to sleep and you need to watch Family Guy so that you can not feel so bad, isn't it because we're going, like forever in a way?
I don't know. It's just you can get all worried about it. Or you can recognize, just try and understand what's going on.
Yeah.
What worries me more is we can only account for 6% of the universe. We don't know what 94% of the universe is even made of. And we can do the math that shows it has to be made of something, but we only understand what we call matter, and our understanding of energy, which is we don't know what 94%, we call it dark matter and dark energy because we just had to make up a name. That's what they're looking for in that big particle accelerator under France and Switzerland, the big CERN particle accelerator and the Higgs boson and all that. We're trying to figure out what the universe is even
it could
made
be
of.
that there's like people standing right here going, you guys are just looking at us and going,
alternate.
Woo!
We just
And we have no
don't
idea.
know. And when someone makes up a word like dark matter and dark energy, they don't know either.
Yeah,
they're
they don't know what
just,
they're talking about.
They're just trying to explain it
Well,
the best they
it's
can.
always disappointing when they say, like, we found a planet with waterfalls and dogs on it. And then you're like, oh, my God. And then you read the story and they're
never
like,
say-
well, they didn't see it. They
dogs.
saw a star wobble
Yeah.
in a weird way. So they figured out with math that there's probably
There's
a
something
planet
going on there.
Yeah.
And because of how far it away is from the star, it's probably got...
Yeah.
But they can't see anything yet. We're
well,
still really
we're-
blind.
We're just starting to be actually able to see light reflected from planets. Up until now, you're right. We've had to do it because of star wobble,
Yeah.
or if it gets in between us and the star gets a little darker.
Right.
But now we're starting. Our telescopes are getting good enough, and our math is good enough that we can start actually to see reflected light from other stars or from other planets. As soon as you see the reflected light, then by how the light's absorbed, you can figure out if it has water in it or what other
Some
methane.
other
It is too
thing.
deep for
So-
me.
He has to get a tooth pulled.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
If I were you, I'd delay.
Did this blow your mind away?
It's just, you know what?
Your 141
He's
IQ?
upset. He's upset. I insulted him.
Oh, no.
This is too smart for him and his tooth
No.
hurts.
First of all,
Yeah.
I'm not
Tooth
saying-
pain.
I'm just
it's
kidding.
just, I'm sitting here.
What? This is fascinating. What's wrong with you? When's the next time you're going to get to talk to a
You're the only
spaceman?
person that would run out of a spaceman talking to go get your tooth pulled.
Yeah,
Tell the dentist you were talking to a man from space.
No, it's all right. I can
I'll
understand.
do another 5.
So as part of
easy to
astronaut training, we
convince.
do medical preparation.
What's that?
Yeah.
And I can pull your tooth if you want
But
me
here's
to.
still, here's
Please
what I
do.
Oh,
want.
yeah, you probably have to be able to do that, right?
Yeah,
To
we-
your fellow
Have him
astronauts.
pull your tooth. That's a
How
story.
could you not want to have your
What
tooth
makes for good
pulled?
radio, I'm sure.
I'm
By
sure
a
he's not
guy.
traveling with Novocaine in his pocket.
Well, are you?
On the spaceship, yeah. but not down
Just
here.
a quick question. I mean, and this is probably kind of deep. You get a lot of
It's
pussy
not
being
gonna
an
be deep.
astronaut? I mean, how much pussy can you get being an astronaut?
So my brother and I wrote a song, and one of the lines in the song is, "Chicks don't come here as much as you think." It's kind of a lonely
Right.
existence on a spaceship. It's kind of like a monastery up there. So
Yeah.
but I'm
Plus,
saying
he's a
you're
married man.
yeah.
Oh, you're married?
My wife and I have been together 40 years. Yeah.
40.
40.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
I want to ask about asteroids. Do we know where all the asteroids are?
We only know very
That's
few
what
of them.
scares the fuck out
That's
of me.
the one that you should be watching Family Guy for.
Yeah,
I think,
because-
because the Earth is covered in scars.
Right.
It's been schmucked, and we get hit by 100 tons of meteorites a day.
A day.
On Earth. Most of them are little. Once in a while, we have a big one, and most of them we can't see because they're like flat black coal colored, and they cross our orbit, so the sun is up. It's like trying to look into a bright light and see something that's dark. You just can't see it. So we haven't even detected most of the asteroids, and some of them are like a city killer, but some of them are a planet killer, and we just haven't seen them all.
That's what scares me.
So we need to put a little work into
They
that.
basically say you take away like the trees and the buildings and all that, and Earth would look pretty much like the moon with all the strikes the moon has
Well,
had.
What do you do?
Because
Put
we
up
have-
a big net? I mean, what would you do about it?
Because we have weather and we have continental drift.
Exactly.
Most of our scars
They
get
said
healed.
You get rid of the oceans, you'll see a whole bunch of asteroid hits.
We'd look like the moon or Mars. So what do? First, you find one that you know 5 years from now is going to hit the Earth, and then you just need to make it just barely miss Earth. So there's a few guys have thought of different ways to make an asteroid change its path just tiny bit. You just
Little
need to drag
explosion,
it.
maybe?
Either an explosion, or you put a little thruster on it, or you have a spaceship that hovers next to it, and the gravity of the spaceship will slowly just yank it a tiny bit.
Who wants
But isn't
that
that only
job?
if it's a big? But if it's a big asteroid, though. What if it's like a big New Jersey-sized asteroid?
Yeah, well, you can only
Then you get
do so
Governor
much.
Chris Christie up there.
Come on, Lou, that's
Kill his
impossible.
orbit.
That guy, I'll tell you, he'll scare an asteroid to
Oh,
death.
yeah,
if you
that
want to
guy.
talk politics.
A lot of people, say that that's what has destroyed the Earth numerous
Well, we've
times.
been hit really badly before.
Civilizations, past civilizations.
Yeah,
and
the one
whatnot.
that hit off the Yucatan, that enveloped the whole world basically in fire. And
And how long ago was that?
that was hundreds of millions
70s?
of years ago.
A what? 100?
Well, that was like 90 million years ago. I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that. The one that
Rosie
hit up in
O'Donnell.
Quebec, you can still see.
Fell off
But, yeah, was
Rosie
a couple hundred
O'Donnell.
million years ago.
The one in what'd you say? The one in Quebec.
There's a huge one that you can see up in Quebec called the Manicouagan crater. That it's like 30 miles across or 40 miles across.
and that was an Earth
That
killer.
scares the heck out of me.
It was had
What's
a big
the most
impact
recent
on life.
one that was that bad?
Arizona?
Well, the one in Arizona is only 49,000 years ago, and that must have been a heck of a day. But it's only a mile across that hole.
Wow.
The one in Tunguska was 100 years ago, and it flattened.
100 years ago?
100 years, 1903. It flattened trees for hundreds of miles.
That's 112 years ago.
Yeah.
And how big was that asteroid that did that?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Perhaps
Like
a
house
mini-
size,
a
not
bus.
huge.
That's what I'm saying. It was
Yeah, it
only
was
But
only
it's
the size
totally
of a house.
It's totally random.
Yeah.
We could go another 50 million years, or it could be tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Well, there's normally
If it was
a pretty
tomorrow, we would have
significant
seen
one.
something by now.
You know, every 1,000 years there's a pretty big one. There's a bunch of people working on it, and part of the problem is if you start to drag an asteroid so it's not going to hit, say, New Jersey, well, as you slowly pull it off the Earth's orbit, maybe it's going to hit instead L.A. or
Right.
it's going to hit Brazil or something.
Yeah.
So the politics are complicated. Who decides and who spends the money? I'm not sure how we're going to do
That's why I live one day at a time.
That's a good idea.
You know what I mean?
That's because you're an alcoholic.
Well, that too.
That's got nothing to do with asteroids.
Yes, a struggling homosexual.
That's because you can't drink wine without ruining your life.
Yeah.
That's why. Asteroids got nothing to do with it. Well, it's your fucking Irish heritage or whatever is back
Jewish.
there. Same thing.
So
It's an ish.
they let you take your guitar up there?
No, we keep a guitar in a space station always.
Oh, really? What is it? What kind of guitar is it?
It's an acoustic guitar made by a company called Larry Vey. It's a Larry Vey parlor guitar, 6-string, pure acoustic, small body. It's a good guitar.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been up
How
there
long
since
is-
September of 2001. We brought it up in a shuttle in September. It gets played pretty much every day up there. There's lots of guitar.
That's a famous guitar now too.
Yeah, and I recorded a whole album up there, and it's actually in the studio now. It's getting released in August.
Oh, I didn't know you
And
did
by the
more.
way, the book, we have to promote your book. It's called An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth, and it's really good.
It's in 20 languages, this book. And,
Wow.
Well,
and
well
it's-
for me, English is the only one I
English is
can
good,
do, but it's really
But
great.
yeah, it just came out in paperback, and I'm really pleased with how the book's done.
Yes, I have
Really?
a fanny pack, Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah, ask the spaceman about being economical with your space. Am I correct?
Well, you don't
Thank
want to lose
sir.
your valuable stuff.
I like to travel with nothing in my pockets. I have a fanny pack. Yes, I do. Sir.
He's owning it. He's owning it.
This is the most shocked I've been all day.
On a
fanny
space
pack.
station,
With everything
we wear
I've
fanny
learned,
packs, too,
even
'cause
the
pockets don't
asteroids?
work
Even the
without gravity.
asteroids.
Okay.
This is.
Well,
out of your
men like
fucking
Chris and
mind?
myself understand a fanny pack's value.
Don't drag him into
Do you-
this.
do you not wear fanny packs up there in the big abysses, I like to call it?
Yeah.
We need
Where no one
zippered-
can see them.
We need,
Because your pocket stuff falls out of in
you
zero
need zippered
Gs.
pockets without gravity, otherwise stuff floats all over the place.
I happen to like a fanny pack.
What's
and
in there?
I'll tell you what's in there, Lou, without being you rifling through my fanny pack.
Really has a fanny.
I do my tickets. I have my shades.
Is that so you can wear
I have my ID, my wallet.
You have any Novocaine?
And you have where's your dignity?
I happen to like a fanny pack. My masculinity is not defined by what I wear around my waist. It's defined by what I put in my mouth. And that's not good, Chris.
I think you're offering up a little too much info to our guests.
Is that so you can wear pervert
It's so-
sweatpants?
No, it's so I can
on the
travel
subway?
comfortably. It's like what I'll do is I pop this off and I'll drop my fanny pack in the
damn
front
it.
of the seat and I just doze right off.
This is the kind of moment where like I'm getting old.
That Jimmy's got
Jim
a
Norton's wearing a
Jim
fanny
Norton-
pack.
You
wearing
need
a
a fanny pack to tell you that?
I have been
Yeah,
wearing a
that's-
fanny pack. I used to carry one of those Merces, a man purse. That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm more bothered that you had enough time to do a whole album up there, Chris. I thought it was one
6
song.
months.
Every night before, actually, I wrote one song with my son. I wrote some of them. My brother wrote some myself. But I've been a musician my whole life, and so it's just
More
How many
covers?
hours do you
Well,
sleep a night up there?
about 4 or 5. Yeah.
4 or 5 hours?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't sleep more than that then, or what happens?
There's just too much stuff to do. You
Oh,
know, I
really? 'Cause you're
decided
that busy
well,
every
you
day?
just, I didn't want to miss it.
Got songs
You wake
to
up and you're in
record.
space. You're like, I want to
Yeah.
look out
Do you
the
get
window.
overtime?
Sleep later.
You work long
Do you-
hours up there. I thought I'd sleep when I get back.
Do you wake up and go, holy fuck, I'm in space? Like all of a sudden you forget for a second?
At first, yeah, it's
You do,
weird.
right?
It's weird, but after a while, you get completely used to being weightless. You don't even think about it anymore. You're like prehensile toes.
What's it like coming home? Is it heavy and weird?
Yeah, it's
When gravity comes
it's kind
back?
of rude coming back. Really
Sure. Yeah.
unfair, and you can't balance, and your heart's forgotten how to pump the blood up to your head, so you faint when you stand up.
Oh,
and,
my God.
And you just want to throw up all the time, and you've
Oh,
lost a
wow.
bunch of your skeletons, so you have to grow your skeleton back when you get back.
From
my
out,
God.
from
That's
outer
little
space. From
How
out-
do you grow your skeleton back?
Automatically, which is the amazing thing. Your body shed your skeleton, especially across your hips when you're up there. But when you come back, your body grows your bone back. Which so
I could lose
so,
a little around my
so,
head.
Oh,
so
come
we're,
on, Lou. What
so
are you
we're
going to do? Go
studying
around the Earth?
Do you think-
osteoporosis.
You think from up there they could see on Friday and Saturday Harrisburg, the Comedy Zone?
Yeah, is it,
from
is
outer
it, is
space?
it, is it
See
possible to see
Harrisburg,
people
yes.
fleeing a city?
you can see the taillights from up
So
there.
from watching your guys' skeletons grow back, they've learned about osteoporosis.
Yeah,
and how to-
understand the body's
Yeah.
autonomic
Wow,
control.
man.
Hope the
Mechanisms.
skeletons in the
Yeah.
closet don't come back, though. Am I right or wrong? Who
Are
doesn't
you
have a few of those?
are you done or you get to go up there
I was
again?
21 years in the NASA astronaut office. I retired from that. 20. I mean, Neil Armstrong was an astronaut for 8 years. You know,
Yeah.
he did all that
he's
stuff in
lazy.
8 years. I was 21 years, and it's a hard medical to pass after when you get in your mid 50s. It's hard to.
Well, all the recovery
that
from
physical.
doing it, and then
And each flight is a 4-year or 5-year investment of your life too. So I was lucky enough to fly 3 times. I'm retired now. That's why I wrote a book.
Great. Let's get the plug in for the
Amazing.
book.
Yes, let's plug the book, An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth. I have not read all of it, but what I've read is excellent. I got to like chapter 5.
It's
It's
a
a
New York Times bestseller.
great
You know,
book,
some
man.
people have amazing experiences, and they're boring to talk to. And you're not one of those guys. You seem to really appreciate what happened to you.
I really do.
There
I
are
like
guys
that.
who you meet, guys like, wow, you were at the you hit the World Series winning, and he's like, yeah.
Yes, I
But yeah, they sent the right guy because you
might-
took it in.
You might make it on one of Louis' lists, like amazing astronauts to look
On
at,
a Louis
right?
list.
That's right.
All right.
That's
And
right.
also, let's plug everybody. Louis got season 5 starting.
Yeah.
When it started already, and
it's every Thursday at 10.
every Thursday
It's-
at 10:30.
It's a great season for real, man. It's a little dark,
Funny
funny.
show.
I love it.
Rich is going to be in Harrisburg,
Harrisburg.
Friday,
And-
Saturday.
And don't forget on Netflix, Women Aren't Funny.
And I have tickets on sale today, 10 a.m. In Minneapolis. I'm going to be September 25th at Mill City Nights. It's a rock club, and I will be there. Tickets are on sale now.
All
So
right.
I'm leaving for LA, and thank you guys.
Cool. Nice to talk with all of you.
Fucking guy,
Absolutely.
brilliant.
And
Thank you for sharing all that.
Thanks.
Thanks
It's
to
fun.
Louis
Nice to
C.K.
chat with
and
you.
Rich
Good luck
Voss.
with the tooth pull.
Yeah, I guess we're done. All right. See you tomorrow.